Well, hello there, welcome back. So I was referred this game on Steam. Sorry about that. Just turning my volume a bit down. There we go. It's called Scrap Mechanic. It's a early access. It looks like a lot of fun. It feels like a lot of fun. Unfortunately, right now there's no goal or anything really to do except being creative and testing out the limitations of the game. And that's of course what I've been doing. So let's go over a few of the things you can do in this game. So the game is a open world. Well, that's me. Well, it's open. Yeah, there we go. physics sandbox. You can see we got blocks. There we go. And we got physics. How about that? Physics sandbox. I think the developer mentioned on the Steam page they will eventually add a survival mode. Right now you have this sandbox mode, and it's working in multiplayer as well, so that's pretty awesome. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Basically this is the starter area, and you can see there's some crops, so I'm sure they imagine some sort of survival where you need food to survive. At the moment it's not added, so it's just creativity, right? We got a build menu, items we got in the game right now. It's a bit weird. You got things like a sink, shoes, a dog, things like that, where you think, why do I have these things before I got any use for them? So that's very strange. And all of these other things around is basically just things to build with. Why can't I? Okay, there we go. We got, of course, got some mechanics. So you got something that can rotate like a bearing, and it has a motor, but it doesn't show. We got suspensions. We got seats, so we can make cars. Passenger seats for multiplayer. Motors. There's a gas and electric engine. I think gas means gasoline powered, not gas powered. But hey, jet thruster. A controller to be able to control your buttons. We got a flip button, a switch, and a button, normal button. A sensor, radio, and a light, of course, some wheels, and a lot of different things. So I've been building a lot of different things, like, there we go, this is a car I got. So it got a lot of suspension, as you can see. I was just playing around with the suspension, so it should be something like a 4x4 off-road driver. Of course, it flips over very easy because it's short and the weight distribution is all wrong. But it's fun. Also got this one. This was my first little car. I used that to drive around exploring the area. And this is just my experimentation area. Oh yeah, this is one of the fun things. This is a booster carousel. Whee! Yeah. Oh, it's stuck up there. That's strange. Luckily, we can just do that. There we go. Physics are re-enabled. Sometimes they do get stuck. One of the other things that's very hard to do because there's no pistons or... well, if I wanted to move something in real life, I'd probably use a cog wheel and something like this below, so the wheel would turn and this will just move slowly along the side. You can do it like this, but these wheels don't have very good friction. So they are going to slip all the time. Which is weird, because when you look at them, they got rubber on them, meaning the friction should be high, but it's not. Anyway, doors like this. But it's not really a slider, it's just a rotation piston. See that? It's this one. It's not really a piston either, it's just two pieces of iron rotating around their own axis. A drawbridge, of course, And the drawbridge is really simple as well. I got a controller hooked up to the button, and inside where the turning is handled, I got a few bearings like this. Of course, we will go over later how to build things like this. I'm just testing out a few things. Here we got 2 suspension springs and jet engines on them, so you can see how they affect. I also wanted to know, you can see we have a button and it's hooked up to that engine. So I was wondering, can I drop something heavy on it and it will start the engine? Nope, doesn't work. So let's reset that. There we go. I was playing around with the controller. You can see when I press, it turns. When I let go, it keeps turning. Got one as well here. But this one is limited in a certain degree. I was testing the jet engine. Very hard to turn off. Maybe I should put the button on the wall instead of on the machine itself. And of course, a little space shuttle. So, as you can see down to the left, I have a button hooked up to jet engines, and off we go. Whee! And the way you reset things in this game is you take this lift, put it in your inventory, click it once, and you can put it down wherever you want. So there's my space shuttle back. So let's get over here. Now, one of the things I've been working on is a monorail, because you want some sort of transport system. You can see it goes way out there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but if I jump a little, you might be able to see the horizontal bar up there. And it goes back here. And some people might think, how do you get from up here to up there? Well, you move your vehicle up to this section and you press the button. There we go, and then you can drive off. But the last one I've been working on here is not working so great. So as you can see, the wheels are turning, but nothing is really happening. So let's get that off. And of course I got a lock. I can disengage right there. It's also control right there. So that's just to prevent it from falling off. Let's get that guy off. I got 2 other monocars right there. This one and this one. Let's take this one first. Just had to make sure this lock was open. It is. And then we're going to... Well, why don't we get up on the main track? There we go. See, I think it's... There we go. And it's on. Now we need to lock it in place. There we go. And we're ready to drive. Unfortunately, it's not so good. And it's stuck now. But it's working. It's not the speed I would expect, and you can see it's sort of really strange. Sometimes it's really fast, other times it's kind of slow. And now it's on the ground. Let's put that guy over here. Then we got this one. Let's open up the clamp. I'm not sure if that guy is even working. We'll try. Oh, what a fail. There we go. So let's see. It must be like that, right? Oh yeah. And this was the first one I made, as you can see. It has a space of 2 because my first initial track was too wide. Not too wide as in it's too big, but 2 blocks wide. So that's why it's parked down here. It's just a piece of museum art now. And where did the button go for this guy? Oh, it's right there. Let's take the car and go look at the other end. Because another problem I think we might have with doing things like the monorail is getting to a different level. Well, that was pretty good. By getting to a different level, I mean when you need to change the height of the track and rotation. So I've been working on solving that. So I got this this platform right here. So when I arrive here on my monorail, it drives on, so you can see it's separated right there and there. Got a bumper just in case I drive too far. And I need to go up there. Let's place down a lift. You can only have one lift at a time, so when you place it down somewhere, it goes away. The other places you can see. So it's a personal lift. It's not like you can have things standing around on the lift. So it's meant to be like this when you arrive. It's open because you are usually ejected on top, so you can jump into this thing. You can then close the doors. It's very necessary. And when we press this button, we should hopefully arrive up there. Yeah, it's a bit wobbly, but we are here. Oh, are we one high? Indeed, we are. We are one too high. Well, that can happen. And here we're one low. That's fine. We can deal with that. That's things I can work on once I get a monorail working. What I don't like is the speed of this thing. It's much too fast. And that is why it's wobbling like this. Whee! And I was thrown out. You can see we can test it by removing that button right there and connecting that button right there. So imagine having a vehicle on top of that. This entire thing would just work like a catapult and just throw it up into the air. But it's able to hold, so that's fine. Of course we could start by strengthening this thing, something like that. No, not like that. Well, there we go. Broke it. Well, that's strange, because now it's not connected. It shouldn't be working anymore. In theory, in this game, you should only be able to connect things that are connected physical. And it's not physical connected right now. Anyway, if I wanted to adjust the speed, you can see I got all the actions happening at the same time. What I could do instead, I could move them along. So this one shouldn't be doing anything. Then this one should. Then this one. Now, I'm not sure it will work now that it's disconnected, but it will really slow down the process a lot. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah, needs some work, needs some attention. Let's just leave it there. So that's car mechanic for you. Sorry, not car mechanic. Yeah, I don't know why I call it car mechanic. It's called scrap mechanic. It's available on Steam now, early access. However, I think the price is very high. They want $20 or was it 20 euros? Either way, it's too much for a game at this state. Indie developer or real developer, I don't really care if you're doing early access and you're developing a game and you're allowing people to pay and play before it's even completed in some sort of way. Right now it's nothing. It's just a... Well, creative mode is not really a game mode. It's just a test phase. And originally creative mode was where developers would put in things to see how will this work when I implement this into my game. Of course it's fun and we all enjoy playing with it, but $20? That's a bit steep for something like this. You can't really do anything except trying to be creative. Of course that's very fun, but there's no interactions with the world. You can only interact with things you do on your own, and I already have things like Minecraft and different space engineers and medieval engineers. They just do the same thing. There's no difference. The only difference is maybe the theme. But hey, early access. It's available. It's fun. Let's try something. I'd like to show you how to build something really basic. I'd like to show you how to hook up different things. So you know, something like that wall over there, just so you can see how things work. So we got a wall, and now let's say I want, let's do a different color. I want this beam to turn around. In order to make that beam turn around, I need a bearing. This bearing allows anything you build onto it to be turned or rotated. So you can see when we add this one, it does nothing, but if we add something out to the side so it has some weight, there we go. You can see it's rotating freely. It does nothing yet. Then we can hook it up to a button, and we're just going to do that even though nothing will happen, because you need something else. What's going on? Okay. In order to connect things, you need to use this tool. There we go. And you can see it won't connect. No, 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 no. That's because we need a controller for this particular thing to work. So the controller, the button and the bearing are all connected to the same piece. Physical connected. Now I can connect the button to the controller, and the controller can I connect to the bearing, and you can see it reset it. Yeah. Brilliant. It's now at the position where I started, because that's 0 degrees for this particular item. So when I had my 0 click, you can see it got a number. So if I added another bearing over here with maybe just 3, and I'm going to hook that up to the same, you can see it's now number 2. I can flip the rotation from blue to red by right clicking. There we go. So you can see they are opposite. The colors are very important because that determines which way we rotate when we define our rotation in the controller. So let's imagine we want this one to turn clockwise and this one to turn counterclockwise. So this one to turn clockwise, we need to rotate in blue direction. Counterclockwise, this also has to be in blue direction because we flipped it. Now it needs to be in red. Blue. Okay, so remember the numbers. Blue, red. So you simply click and hold. This one out here is the initial rotation. So if I wanted this one to start down there, I would do red 90, something like that, meaning the start position is there. But my start position right now is 0 degrees for both items. So I wanted it to turn 180 degrees clockwise or in blue direction, and this one 180 degrees counterclockwise in blue direction. And remember, that's because this one was blue in the counterclockwise and this one was blue in the red. So when I click this button, that's what they do. Now we are going to look at something else. Let's look at timers. So it works like horizontal is one function or one bearing, if you want, one connection. Vertical is one time or one function. Block, it's like a state machine. So this state machine only rotates this one over here now, block number 1. So when state machine 1 is finished, I want to rotate block number 2. So it rotates this, then block number 2. And down here you can set the speed, of course. We're going to leave it fast so we don't have to wait so long. There we go. And when you're using a button like this, it's going to run along this way and stop. If you click this one, it's going to run along this way to the end and then backwards. Let's try that. Oh, right. My mistake. Of course, this is rotate. So it's going to run to the end and then start from the beginning again. So like a circle. That's also what it's indicating. Yeah, silly me. When you have it off, it's going to do what I said. Forward, then backwards when you let it go. So I click it. And I click it to stop it. It rotates back. Now I would like to introduce a break between the rotations of the two. So I just leave one blank. Let's see how that works. Yep. 1, 2. So around 1, maybe 2 seconds pause between doing something. So then we can say, okay, if we want to work with time at fast speed, it's around 1 or 2 seconds. If we move it to slow, let's see what happens. Well, first of all, they rotate very slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's just stop it. Fast speed. And we crashed. I'll be right back. And we're back from the crash. Not sure what happened, but hey, it's early access. What can you expect to happen? There we go, back to fast. And we still have our small pause. So that's basically how you connect things. One thing I'd really like to comment this game on is when you click button 1, you can see you have this handbook in your hand. It's also available right there. And it says the Mechanics Handbook. When you click it, it has how to play and links to videos. That's very cool. Very cool. And it has all sorts of examples. It even shows you how to build your first car. Use engines. Use steering. That's very cool. Of course, there's a fag at the end. Frequently asked questions. I know they say common questions, but hey, yeah. Also what the lift is about, bearings. So, would I recommend this game? Yeah, I would recommend it, but I really can't during early access because it's just too expensive. There's no content. Sure, you can argue that the content must be being able to build things like this, but then again I would also argue it's not. That's not the content. This is just a way to interact with things that eventually might be in the game. And of course I might imagine that you have to mine or buy resources to use all these items or build them in the end. Oh yeah, fantastic physics. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.